In the spirit of reconciliation, Yellow Ladybugs acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia in their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respects to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today.
My name is Liz Pellicano. I'm Professor of Autism Research at University College London in the UK. I think there were two, there are two sorts of kind of health anxiety. So one is where people have kind of, the physical symptom or have some physical symptoms and become really worried about what they might mean. So, people might find a rash on their body and they might attribute that to COVID or another disease, but in this case, COVID. But which actually turns out not to be that. Or they might worry a lot about the prospect of getting a disease, like getting COVID, but when there are currently no real physical symptoms. And of course, people might experience both of those things. And I think we've all experienced both sorts of health anxiety at some point in our lives, or will do. But some people obviously can worry really intensely about those things, and to the point that it has a real negative impact. And obviously the pandemic was very unpredictable and uncertain, and therefore I think exacerbated people's health anxiety. And we know that autistic people, because they often experience elevated anxiety already, and can struggle to deal with that kind of unpredictability or uncertainty, that it might have triggered more anxiety symptoms in autistic people.
So my name is Dr. Sarah Bernard. I'm an autistic ADHD disabled doctor working in Perth, Western Australia. So health anxiety exists. It is a real condition. It is nothing to be ashamed of, and it is very, very manageable once you recognise it. It is a real mental health condition, and believe it or not, it's actually a little bit related to obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. And what health anxiety is worrying that you might get sick, or that you are sick, or even that your loved ones might be sick. The key thing with health anxiety is the worry is out of proportion. So your anxiety can be enormous, even though your actual chance of getting sick is really, really low. And with health anxiety, that worry about the possibility of getting sick starts to take over aspects of your life. And that can mean it can be disabling. So it can look like constantly worrying about your health, very frequently checking your body for signs of illness, always asking people to reassure you that you're not sick, and sometimes even being quite avoidant. So avoiding seeing anything to do with illness, like in videos or media. And the anxiety itself can also cause physical symptoms like headaches or racing heart or breathing difficulties. And that makes it really difficult to distinguish it from a physical illness. When it comes to finding support, the first thing for our community to know, I think, is that anxiety is just our brain trying to protect us. So anxiety is what we feel when we think something bad might or will happen. And it's actually very necessary because it helps us in real life dangerous situations. Like if I came across a dangerous animal, it would be helpful for my brain to recognize that as a threat and get me ready to run away or to fight to protect myself. It's just that we don't want to be in full fight or flight mode when it's just a possibility of something bad happening. So it's that possibility of illness being misinterpreted inside us as a real and immediate threat. And that is totally possible to reframe in your mind with the right help.
So my name is Chennai, she, her, and I am one of the co-directors of Rainbow Muse Clinic. And we do lots of different kinds of therapy, like psychology, art therapy, play therapy. It's a delicate thing between wanting to validate the experience without wanting to give it too much power, like that.
Yeah.
So saying these feelings are an appropriate response to the to the experiences you've had. It's a perfectly okay, normal thing to feel this way. But also, can we reality check some of it? And it's working a lot in different forms of metaphor, like through art and play. We conquer dragons and different things, like our fears get personified as different things. And you can do the same thing with adults, but also just, I guess, yeah, really looking at what the fears and anxieties are. Is it the literal health related thing the focus is on, or is it, yeah, when you distill it and you break it down, I find most humans are able to come to it not being about what they think it is. And like acceptance and kindness, like saying, this is where we're at. Telling someone something is irrational or to just get over it doesn't help. So yeah, finding a way to tame those beasts, letting them be as big as they are, but be defeatable,